Hey, shalom, y'all. Hope you're having a good day. Today is Sunday morning, currently 8:23 a.m. Not too chilly, but I mean, as you can see the trees, I mean, it's still winter. So, what we're doing today, we're gonna be changing the water pump on the Classic, as I showed y'all in the video I just did with the brake light. I told y'all that we will be changing the water pump. So let's get started, right? With what we need. We're gonna need about 2 gallons of coolant. There's some more coolant in the back of the pickup truck, so we still got extra. We're gonna need some Blue Monster Ptfe pipe thread sealant. Get a torque wrench, extension for the wrench. Make sure you got a 3/8. That's what I use, cause this is what the impact wrench says, right there. You see, it says 3/8. So just try to get 3/8 for all of these, so it'll just go right on here. But as you can see, this one is not 3/8. This one is smaller, so you would use like this tiny thing, this tinier one. So you're gonna need a 10mm socket, 16mm socket, a 13mm socket, and a 15mm socket. Just in case, bring some screwdrivers, some, thin things like this, because you're gonna need it. We're gonna have to be taking apart and disassembling the fan and stuff like that, which is where you got this 36mm wrench. All right, we're gonna be using this to take the fan off the truck. We're gonna need a hammer, a drain bucket, because the coolant is going to leak. It's gonna have to drain somewhere. We're gonna have to drain the coolant out. And what else? 19mm wrench, and make sure you got some bolts with you. But yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna bring this tool bag just in case we need something, but all the tools is basically right here. So let's get started. Here's the extra coolant. This is mostly full. Shout out to Gorilla Carts. These things come in handy. So what we want to do, open the hood. You don't have to put the brake on, obviously, but here it is. So if y'all can see, this is like a part of the water pump. Oh, what am I doing? I didn't even show y'all the new water pump. What's going on? Of course. Here's the new water pump, right? So, brand new one, got from my Advanced Auto Parts. This is how it looks, right? It already came with the bolts and, all that good stuff. So, yeah, just gonna be putting that on. And to do this, we're gonna have to take this off, get some of these hoses out the way, get the fan off and all of that. So, it's gonna be should be pretty easy. Now, what I would say is to get the jack. If y'all want to put the brakes on, y'all can. Y'all don't got to, but get the jack, because we are gonna have to get under the truck and get the. If y'all have mats or a piece of cardboard, get some of that too. But let's get started. Alright, y'all. We're under the truck now. We got the jack on this framing. So, what you want to do? It's like 3, like, 1, 2, 3. You gotta pop those out, and then we're gonna have to pop these out too. So let me see if I can use my hand. Alright. Ah, there we go. Alright. That's one. That's one. Gonna try to get this other one off. Yeah, alright, that's two. That is two. Time for this third one. Since I recorded the first two, y'all know what to do. Just use your strength and pop it out. Now what you want to do, see, remember I showed y'all this earlier. Put this in here and pop it out. Just like so. Oh shit. Sheesh. Alright. Got that off. That thing was almost fell on my face. Not really. It got caught though, so we're good. So now we got this part exposed, so now we could see the fan, and we got this part off. We're gonna move on to the next step. Alright, y'all. So now we're gonna drain the coolant. So from what I've seen, other Rams, they have a bolt, but from what I'm looking at, this only is just like a twist of my hand. So I'm gonna twist this out right here, and the coolant should drain out and pour into the bucket. So after I take that cap off, I'll turn the recording back on. Alright, now it's coming out now. Right into the bucket. Let me see if I can put the bucket down. Alright. And then just wait until it stops dripping or just drips a tiny bit out. I've been waiting for at least 5 minutes. This thing is still like at the same consistency of dripping. So I guess it really does need 2 gallons. But and the only reason why it looks so brown is because remember I used this bucket for the oil change last time, so but I mean I guess I get back with y'all when this thing is done. I'm just laying down here on the mats. Alright, y'all. Waited about, I would estimate about 10 minutes, but as you can see, you got full a little bit. It's just like dripping now. Just drip, drip, drip. So we can cover it back up, and we're gonna put this coolant to the side. Alright, so now we are at the top of the engine. If you can see, so we basically have this whole hose right here, right? And it leads down to here. Hold on. Camera angle is very important so that y'all can see what I'm talking about. So let me put this down. If you see, remember we're at the top of the engine. This is the engine cover, you know, quarter intake. So yeah, one right there, one bolt down there. It's 2 bolts. So I got the baby wrench with the 13mm socket on it, and this says 13, right? Alright, so this says 13. My only issue, you see, we got this in the way. So let's see if we could get it around. Yeah, I'm about to drop this tool, but let me see. He did have an extension on his. I got it on. Let me see if I could just, because this is a tight fit for my hand. If y'all can see, just like. You know what I'm saying? I'll get back to y'all on the face out. So now we're at the top of the engine, and as you can see, it's this hose that's running across the intercooler. It leads to down here, which has the bolt right there. And I'll zoom in a little bit for y'all so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Bolt right there. And then put the tools down. Have a bolt. And down. Alright, down here. Bolt right there. So we have a 13mm, and this is I believe it's a half. I don't know. I like metric readings better because they're easy to read. 13mm, right? So this is just a longer one. We're gonna start off with the bottom one because that's easier to get to, and then for the top one, if y'all could get something like get this and just try to fit it on. But I'm gonna try to record the process so y'all can see. All right, yeah. So remember I told you about the half. I don't know how, but we managed to get the impact wrench under there, right? Because that's pretty much all I got to loosen this thing. And as you can see, it's working. But for this top one right here, it's kind of tight because as you can see, there's like that hose in the way. So it's gonna be kind of difficult. Plus it's tight, so I mean obviously, right? So I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get that on. Oh, wait a minute. Come on now. Our superhero, the extension. Alright. So let me show y'all something. I'm gonna take this off. I'm hoping that this works, right? I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna put the extension on. It's like just like that, right? Like that. So now we got a long piece. Then I'm gonna get this, put this on too. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna try this. So however this could work. Hold on, let me try it. And with the other extension, now I have a real long extension. We're gonna try to get it on there. Hold on. Yo, this is crazy work. It actually is on there. Oh snap. Hold on. Get it on? Oh snap! That didn't work, y'all. This thing came in handy. I'm thinking this impact wrench would be too big and stuff. Alright, so it's loose. It's loose. It worked. Alright. So now I'm gonna just loosen that up, get the bolts out, and just remember, guys. Remember what bolts go to where. So you know that these two bolts that we're about to take off, they go to this piece right here, which connects to the water pump, which is literally in the front of the engine. Alright, yeah, so we got the two bolts out. It just comes right off. I put the two bolts right here. So now it's just time to get this thing out the way. And to get this out the way, same thing with under the car. All I had to do is just pull up on it, and it came right out. So as you can see, this is now nice and loose. Alright, y'all. Now, also to mention that there is a hose connected, right? This right here. So we're gonna have to. What I have is a vice grip, but if y'all have a more official tool to use, y'all can use that. But basically, we're gonna have to squeeze these two clamps together, and that'll loosen it to get it off. Alright, yeah. So just to demonstrate. I was able to manage to, hold on. I was able to manage to get the vice grip on. What do I do to get the camera view? This is a wild angle. Yeah, that's the best I could do, really, but focus, right there. I was able to get vice grip on, so now it's loose. It's looser, so I could now just try to get that down and off. So just keep wiggling it out until it comes off. Alright, y'all. I kind of did something different. So, because this is easy to take off. So, I just loosened this with the vice grip and took that off. Disconnected this middle part. Because the hose that's attached right under here, it is like so difficult to try to get off. So I'm gonna try to continue on without having to take this all the way out and just like leave it to the side like this, so that, you know, this is exposed, because this is the water pump right here. So we're just gonna continue on, and hopefully this is a better decision. Now I was trying to take this fan housing or whatever it's called out. So you got this bolt, and then on this side you have this bolt right here. We're gonna use a 13mm and loosen that. Just loosen it all the way until it comes out. This should be loose. After that, we're gonna work on taking this fan out. Alright, yeah, so we got the two bolts out, but I did notice that this like wiring is connected to the fan. So it's the same thing, just like we did with all the other stuff. Just pop it out, and then once you lift up on it, I'll demonstrate. Oh snap! I'm about to trip on the jack. Alright, so I'm about to demonstrate. So you just lift it up. This is a part of the fan right here. So you lift up just like that. That's how you get that off. And this cannot completely come off until you take the fan off. So that's what we're about to work on right now. Now listen, y'all. This is kind of loose, so I'm able to put the camera under and through to show y'all what I'm about to do. So this is the pulley for the water pump. Right. Get this flathead and push it in. I'll show y'all. It's kind of tight angle, but basically want to get a screw or something similar to get that in. I'll probably even get something shorter than this, just so that's not in the way of the fan. But you want to get something in that hole. Let me get that done now. Alright, I managed to get a bolt in there. Now what we're going to do, I would say to just put this back on for now, because this being all loose and stuff is like really kind of aggravating, to be honest. So I just put that back. Here's what we're about to do. Hey, I moved it. Put it on that left hole. Don't put it right there, because it's gonna be in the way. Now what you wanna do? Get your 36mm wrench on the bolt. Just like that. Oh, that easy? You serious? This thing is loose? No way, this fan's loose already. Alrighty then. Okay. It's loose. In this case, right is loose. Clockwise. Alright, yeah. I kind of found a trick here. So, what you gotta do is literally just turn the fan, and it's actually loosening the bolt just a little bit. So, just keep doing that. And unless you have something soft on the bottom to catch the fan, I would advise you to hold the fan with one hand and loosen with the other or something like that, just so that it doesn't break or crack or nothing. Alright, yeah, I was able to get the fan out, and now we could take this off. And just to let y'all know, it seems like this has been cracked. It is not affecting the engine or anything in any type of way, but if y'all notice that y'all think it's cracking, y'all want to get that replaced or whatever, then go ahead and do that. But like, this is so cool. Like, we just got this whole front end exposed. Yo, I never noticed. Wow. Yo, there's another fan right here. I never knew there was two fans. That is so cool. Alright, so whatever. So we're gonna get down to this, y'all. This is the belt tensioner. You know what I'm saying? Water pump. We're gonna have to loosen the belt so that we can, you know, get this out. So let's get started. Alright, y'all. Next, gonna get your your wrench. Push down. So keep pushing down on the thingy so I can loosen. You know what I'm saying? But this part should come all the way over there. It's moving, it's just I'm gonna do this off camera. Oh my gosh. Alright, so look. It was basically like spring, kinda like a spring, so while you're loosening that, you have to untighten. You have to use your other hand to take the belt off. So now we could just get this belt out. Just like that. Next, get your 16mm. Get it on. Come on. Alright, yeah. Time to loosen some hoses. We got 1, 2, 3. This one is gonna need a vice grip. This one will also need a vice grip. This one will need a flathead. Oh, this is crazy, y'all. I just took this big hose off. I didn't get the other two yet, but this big one I took off, it was still cooler in there, man. A whole bunch of it just spilled on the floor. Oh boy, things that home mechanics gotta deal with, right? But I'm working on getting these two small ones off, because they're connected to the water pump, so we gotta disconnect them. Now that we got all those hoses off, now what we're going to do is loosen this bolt and move this to the side. And just to let y'all guys know, remember the hose from earlier that, you know, I just made the shortcut to take this off. We are actually gonna have to end up taking that out to replace it and put the new one in, but you know, I figured out a way how to get the hoses off with the flathead, so it shouldn't be an issue. It will be better to use the half tool so that it's more easier, more flexible to just loosen the bolt. This bolt down here, y'all, we also have to loosen. It's a part of this black piece. It's also a 13mm. Now that you have these two bolts loosened, this should be movable. Alright, so we got it disconnected. So, let's see. I'm trying to see if it'll be able to slide or anything, but yeah, just know that it has to be loose. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna try to demonstrate to y'all how to get this sensor off. First, what you want to do, pull up. Like that. I'm gonna put a screwdriver somewhere, flathead. And you just, if you see what I'm talking, I think it's, see this tab right here. You have to push that in and pull this red thing all the way out at the same time. Once you do that, it should allow you to just pull up on it and wiggle it out. And then that same black tab from earlier, you just push it in, hold it in, pull up, and that's how you get that off. Alright, y'all, time for the fun part. So behind this black thing is literally just one 15mm bolt, and then after that it's going to be a amount of bolts that we're going to have to take off to get the whole water pump off. So any bolts y'all see that connects the water pump to the engine block, take it off, and eventually this thing will come out. Alright, y'all, so far we have about 6 bolts. This thing is starting to loosen up. But if y'all notice, we have this hose in here right here. So all you want to do is just loosen this, and then same thing, get the vice grips or whatever tool you got to take this sensor out, because you're gonna have to take this piece out and this hosing. Alright, y'all, after some work, we got the sensor off. I put it right there. So now let's get to these other screws. On the bottom, if y'all can see, right there, you got that bolt, and right there also. So from what I found so far, there's 2 bolts on the bottom that has to be taken out for the water pump to come loose. It's gonna be kind of hard to see, but there's another bolt right there we're gonna have to take out. And so far we have 10 bolts on the floor. You know, I just pulled on this thing, and of course more coolant comes out. So let's see if there's any other hoses or anything. Uh-oh. Oh, snap. We done did something, y'all. We got it all. Old water pump is off. And this is how it looks without anything. So I'm gonna just get a rag and, you know, dry some of this stuff up. But this is basically how the engine looks without the water pump on there. It was 11 bolts that we had to take off, so from what I remember. So let's get that cleaned up. Next, we have to take this temperature sensor off. You know what I'm saying? Inside the truck, when you look through the gauges, one of the gauges is coolant temp. So I would guess that this is the plug for it, so that it makes sure your coolant is not too hot. So I'm probably just going to use a vice grip or something and just unscrew it off. Don't use the vice grips. Use the 19mm to take the bolt off. It fits right on. So just, there we go. So just use a 19mm. Alright, y'all, we're back. Long story short, we had some difficulties, but we got this and we got the bolt off. So just put that sensor in there on this hose part in here, screw the sensor into here, and now I'm gonna be taking this thermostat and putting it right here. So literally all I did was put a flathead in like through the thermostat, this top right here, and I just wiggled it up and down like that, and it got it loose. So the same way you see it here, just put it the exact way on this water pump. And then once y'all got that on nice and snug, you just put that one on just like that. Now once y'all got this on and you put the 2 bolts on there, you're gonna have to put this like sealing along the back of it. So when you put it flat, you can see all of these like engravings right here. So just follow it up with the pattern of this. It looks like it goes on like that. And then once y'all done, we're gonna be able to put this on and, you know, bolt down all the screws. Alright, y'all, now that we got this on here, and I did tighten it down a little bit, but not all the way, we're gonna wait until we get it on the truck. So now let's start the process of getting the bolts on. Alright, y'all, remember it is 12 bolts, so make sure that we are torquing them down with a torque wrench to 18 pounds for the torque, or foot-pounds. Yeah, it says foot-pounds. Foot-pounds of torque. So, how you want to use this? Let me show you real quick. So the mechanism for this is a husky, by the way. So you want to pull this down, and then it should allow you to turn it, just like that. So you want to make sure that you keep turning it, because you're gonna see this 0. Where's that at? Let's see 0 right there, and then you're going to see the numbers. So you want to go by foot-pounds, put it on 18 foot-pounds of torque. Then I believe we'll go like this, because being that it's not a direct 20, you can put it on 0. So I just put it on 8 with the 10 right there, so I'm guessing that's 18. So I'm going to torque these down now. Alright, y'all, just show you how it works. When it gets to the right tightness, you should hear this clicking sound. Now that we got this water pump on, we're gonna put all these connectors back, put all these hoses, and connect them back onto the water pump. And I'm also going to tighten this bolt right here. That's for this black metal. We got all the hoses, all the clamps on. Well, not all of them. Not this one. The top hose we didn't do yet, but all these other ones that connect to the water pump clamps are on properly. Everything's all tight. Now it's time to put the belt tensioner back on. So as you can see, there's that piece of circle right there sticking up. You want to line that up with that hole right there. So you're gonna put it just like that, and then I'm gonna put that on and screw that on just like that. And don't forget that this is a 16 millimeter. Focus. You can kind of see it, but this is 16 millimeter. You want to put this at about 23 foot-pounds. Alright, yeah. So for now, this is pretty much the best angle I can show y'all. But I will show y'all the belt and how it's properly supposed to go and look when it's finished, and how you're supposed to use a belt tensioner to get this thing on, right? So as you see, I got my wrench back on the bottom. You want to get a 3/8 wrench and just use the head of the wrench and push it down with your body weight. That'll loosen the belt for you to be able to put it around the this thing here, right? So keep pushing down on it. And then of course my gloves is stuck in there, right? So why not? There we go. Alright. So just keep trying to get that on. And yeah. It goes on like that. I'm gonna finish up because as you can see, there's like little spots where it needs to be put on properly, and like right there, it's not on properly. But this is basically how it's supposed to look. It passes through and back here, and then goes up like that. All right. All right, y'all. We're basically almost done now. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna get the that fan cover that was covering the fan and the fan as well, and we're gonna work on screwing that back on. Here's the fan cover. You want to try to just put the fan. Yeah, bend this thing, right? Put the fan in. At the same time. Now, how am I going to do this? Right. Remember, the way you tighten the fan is kind of opposite. So, if you want to tighten it, you have to turn it left. Yeah. Snap, we're getting somewhere. It's rough, but we're getting somewhere. So, I'm trying to keep this up. Do it. But Of course it doesn't want to go on. Give me one more. Yeah, let me try to get some. Alright, yeah. So now that we got the fan on, it's not tightened yet, but we got it on. So you're gonna see these little slats. Oh, you see it on the screen. This more down. This right here. You just slide it in, and the same thing for the side, and then you tighten it with the bolts from earlier. Oh yeah, there's one more step. Let me go under here. Man, the bolt for this, the nut that goes on here for this black thing right here, I just got it. So it's this. Gotta screw it on my hand, and then it's 12 foot-pounds. Once I get it on, it's 12 foot-pounds. So we got it screwed on, mostly the fan. Just remember to put a screw or like a flathead or something in the water hose pulley circle or something, just so that it doesn't spin. And you just want to get the wrench on there and bang the wrench with a hammer like once, and that should be tight enough. And after that, I'm gonna put the screws on. Oh, yep, right here for this side, and on the same side, you're gonna put it on 12 foot-pounds, and then we're gonna put the hose on. Getting the hose back on. As y'all can see, it's raining now, so let's try to make this quick, right? But I already got the bolts back here on the other side. Don't forget to put this back in right there. I got this clamped on, so now I'm working on this, and then we can move on to putting a plastic piece on the bottom of the engine and doing all that extra stuff. Alright, so we are at the last 2 steps of the process. So I hope y'all been enjoying the video. Y'all learned some stuff so far. Lastly, now what we have to do is put the bottom plastic piece on. So let's get under the truck and start connecting that, right? I got this bottom piece on from the bottom. Basically, just line it up with these 2 tabs and put it on both sides. And then same way how we pop these off, just pop them back on properly. Let me see if I can zoom in to show y'all. But if y'all could see, there's a hole right there. Right there. It's supposed to just align the black piece with that hole, and just, let me see. Let me demonstrate. Goes in just like that. And you do the same thing for the other side. We're at the ending of the video. I just wanted to show you how to fill the coolant back up and how to take this cap off, because I had to research it myself. So basically like a safety. So once you turn it, you gotta push down on it. Keep pushing down and turning it like that, and then it should come off. And as y'all can see, inside of there, it's drained out. So we got a little bit more than 2.5 gallons worth of 50/50 antifreeze plus coolant. So we're gonna pour that in until this gets full, and once this gets full, you're gonna pour the coolant in here until Hold on. Until you have the bubble for the max. The camera's probably not. Oh, there. Max is like right there. So you would go right there, or like to one of these top two if you want to go a little bit past the max. But you gotta make sure that air gets out the system. Just like changing brakes and adding brake fluid. Make sure there's no air bubbles. So let's get started. Alright, y'all. So we are back. It is currently 26 degrees. Y'all can see it's like real cold outside. But about this water pump, I put the coolant in, and right where the hose connects to the water pump, around that area, it was foaming out. So with that being said, we got some water pump and thermostat housing, sealant, and we have like this new hosing thing, or pretty much like a washer type of thing for the water pump. So I'm gonna show you how to do that real quick, and that should fix the issue of this thing leaking. Alright, y'all, so once y'all got that thermostat out, which is in my hand right here, the same old one, and we got this hose out, this goes perfectly right on here, so all praise for that. What you want to do is you want to get the sealant and put it around the edges of this black thing right here. Or I'll tell you what, you see this? See this ring? Put it around this ring. Put a little bit of it. Make sure you dry the surface off first. Put a little bit of that on there, and put the thermostat in so that it's all, nice and tight. Alright, yo, so this is what I kind of did right here. I just put a little bit around on it, and you're probably not gonna be able to see it, but I did put a little bit around there. So I'm gonna just stick it in and leave it sit for like 3 to 5 minutes, just so I can stick it in there. So just push it in, just like that, and leave it. Alright, y'all. So it has been sitting for about like 5-6 minutes. So now what you want to do, you want to get the same water pump gasket maker sealant thing, right? And just put it around on the blue part of this gasket or this hosing. And once you do that, you're gonna stick it on and leave that on for like 5 more minutes as well. Alright, y'all. It should look something like this. Nice gray coated, so that when you stick it on, it gives a firm stick, alright? And this will hopefully stop the leak in the foaming. So you want to put this gray part, or this gray side, on, and then after we do that and we leave it for 5 minutes, we're gonna do the same thing, put some gray stuff on the other side and stick the hose to the water pump. We are back, y'all. So it has been sitting for about like 5-6 minutes again. So now we're gonna put that same gasket, thermostat housing stuff on it, on this side now. I'm thinking to probably take this off, but at the same time I'm not sure, because it's really difficult to get this clamp on. So me personally, I would probably say make sure that this is clamped and then connect it, so that it's not such a hard angle to try to get this clamp on. Alright, so yeah, let's get that done. Alright, so now that we got that done, we're going to tighten it up and add some coolant. Alright guys, so we're looking good so far. I've been pouring coolant in here and it has not been dripping. I don't see any leaks, and I did hear a little bit of noises, but that's just from the coolant and the little air bubbles and stuff that might be trapped. So like right now, I would pour it in, it would get full, but then it would go back down, because you gotta let the air come out, you see? So it's kind of like burping, if you would say. But yeah. So after we do that, you gotta make sure that you fill this up too with coolant. When you take this out, you should see, I think I showed you this earlier, but make sure it's at like the max. And then, if all goes well, we could start our engines. So as y'all can see, this thing is filled up to the top. Well, as y'all can see, it did just bubble up, but for like the past few seconds, it's just been still. So, I'm gonna just put this cover back on, not all the way, but I'm gonna just leave it right here, because when we start it, some of that might go down, so you just want to fill it back until it's topped off. And yeah, so let's see if this worked. It should. Everything is all tight. We got the new water pump on there, got all the clamps in the proper spacing, right? Jeez, it is like freezing, y'all. Forgive me for sounding like this, but yo, I don't know if y'all heard that. The car almost didn't want to start. It's been so long. See? Told y'all. Fast a little bit more. A little bit more. Yo, I am like so excited right now. Like, I don't see no leak. Y'all can see that right there. It's bubbling a little bit. But, I mean, it ain't leaking. I'm gonna turn the heat on. You know what I'm saying? No engine light on. That's good. Let me see the messages real quick. No stored messages. Okay. I'm gonna just put the heat on 2 dots. Oh, shoot. It is cold. It's real cold. Alright, y'all. We got this thing fixed. The issue was, it wasn't torqued down to the correct tightness. 21 pound-feet of torque. Make sure you're tighten that to 21 pound-feet of torque. As y'all can see, it's not leaking no more. I have no idea why this thing is squeaking. I didn't hear that before. But, I mean, a little bit of coolant did drop, so I'm guessing. But, just keep adding more coolant to this until it's topped off and it stays leveled, I guess. And leave this running until it gets to like normal operating temperatures. And make sure that's not overheating, alright, y'all? So, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hope y'all learned something from it. Hopefully we'll be doing another video on, you know, these trucks. You know, if something does happen, go wrong with it. But I'll probably show a picture of this once it's all warmed up. The normal right now it's cold. It's at 127, but once the coolant temperature gets to its normal temperature, it should be around like 210, 212 around there. So I'll show y'all a picture of that, alright? Well, shalom, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.